Our French politics editor, Marc Perelman, of course, watched it, and he's with me now to talk a little bit about what he saw. Marc, I watched a bit of it myself, and I have to say it seemed quite combative, I would say, in places. What did you think?
Yes, because it's a wide open race, and so no one can tell you, including myself, who will be the next mayor of Paris, because the race that seemed to be clearly in favor of Emmanuel Gregoire, the socialist candidate after round one when he came first, with a 12 percentage point advantage over Rachida Dati, who was culture minister until a few weeks ago. On the right, he seemed the clear favorite, but the far-right candidate withdrew from the race, and the other center-right candidate accepted to merge his list with Rachida Dati. So she has no more enemies on her side, whereas Emmanuel Gregoire still has a problem. The far-left candidate, Sophia Chikirou, she wanted to merge with him, but he refused. And so this is why yesterday's debate was quite fiery. Emmanuel Gregoire sometimes was quite on the defensive because he felt that he needed to stand his ground, not to antagonize the far-left candidate, Sophia Chikirou, who was rather offensive, and clearly, because she has nothing to lose, she knows she will not win the race, and she really tried to push her idea. She was probably the best of the three. Rachida Dati now can win. She's someone who's very media savvy. She has punchlines all the time. But yesterday you could see that she was probably nervous because she also needs to show that she is still a center-right or traditional right candidate and is not trying to get the votes that went to the far right and be accused of essentially making an alliance without saying so with the far right. But honestly, there's not many people watched the debate, and I don't think it will make a big difference on Sunday. It's now a very, very tight race between Rachida Dati and Emmanuel Gregoire.
All right, well, we will see what happens in that particular vote. What other races, though, will you be keeping your eye on Sunday?
Well, clearly Marseille, also a very tight race. The outgoing socialist mayor, Benoît Payan, holds a very narrow lead over the National Rally candidate, Franck Alizio. It's also a three-way race. This time, the far-left candidate decided to withdraw from the race. However, the conservative candidate, Martine Vassal, who scored just 12%, decided to remain in the race. And that could be the game changer, because this means that for the far-right candidate, the votes will not go for him, but for Martine Vassal. So it would seem that in this race, the socialist mayor, Benoît Payan, has a better chance to remain. What will also be interesting is to see several towns where there have been alliances between the left and the far left, despite many fights between their leaders recently over accusations that the far left candidate, Jean-Luc Mélenchon, made anti-Semitic remarks. They said, we don't want to have anything to do with each other. Well, in some towns, like Toulouse, for instance, they decided to ally themselves. They say, it's purely local. You just shouldn't see any national lessons, especially for next year's presidential election. But the fact is that they've made alliances. And if it works, it could become a template for next year. What's clear also is that the Macron camp is nowhere to be seen. They had very little local anchorage, and they will have very, very little anchorage because clearly they're going to be the big losers tonight. Sorry, not tonight, Sunday night.
All right, thank you very much. Marc Perelman for us there, our French politics editor.